This slidecast is going to look at what's called schedule control. In other words, time control. You'll recall that the schedule is also known as the program. The program is known as the schedule, which is also known as a timetable. They all relate to time. How much time, what are we going to do when? So schedule control is the control of the project time. It's required to bring the project in on time. So these are the processes you use to first of all determine what the program is going to be, and then making sure that you bring it in on time. As the project is going along, you're concerned about the current status of the project, or more precisely, the current status of each of the little sub-projects that you're looking at. So you're asking yourself, are we on time in laying the footpath? Are we on time in laying the aggregate? Are we on time in having the curb laid? So you're asking those questions, and then you're asking the big question, are we on time to complete the whole project on time? You influence the changes that create the schedule changes. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are going to bring it in on time. If there's going to be bad weather, you're looking at that and saying, okay, there's going to be bad weather next week, we need to do these particular works, this earthworks, before the end of the week. So you might have the people working a bit longer, a bit harder, because you anticipate there's rain coming along and next week you're not going to be able to do it, so you really want to get it finished this week. Determine if the project schedule has changed. Once again, you're looking for things that have run over time. You might have allowed a week to lay a footpath, and at the end of the week you go along, have a look, and the footpath is only half complete. So now you know that this part of the project, this little sub-project, is falling behind time, and you do something about it. And you manage the actual changes as they occur. So you'll see that if the footpath is not completed in the time that was allowed, that is a change, that is a variance, and you're going to have to manage that. It might be that you find out why it's falling behind time. It might be that the resources weren't available, that the concrete layers were late. It might be that the foreman's been a bit slack. It might be one of the labourers hasn't turned up. It might be that the machine they're using is too small. All those things, you need to find out what it is and correct that. You recall from the previous slidecast that at the end of the planning process we have what's called a baseline schedule. So we'll have done all of our planning. We'll have produced this Gantt chart, and we say, okay, well that's it. That's what we plan to do. That's the program for the project. Remember, program, schedule, same thing. There's the program for it. Cast it in stone. So there's the baseline schedule. When the project is underway, we mark on it how we're going. So you can see here these little blue marks are actual progress. It looks like at the end of week 4 the project manager went along and sort of marked everything up. It might be the end of end of every week they go along and make the marks, and then just add them to the previous marks. So looks like the road formation, we anticipate it was going to take 2 weeks. It was going to start at the beginning of week 1, it was going to finish at the end of week 2, and the little blue line shows that we did exactly that. So we brought it in on time. We started the curb and channel on time, but we've run a week late. We only planned to do it in a week, but by the looks of things it's still going at the end of week 4, and there's no indication here that it's finished, so it might be that it's going to extend into week 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and find out why the curb and channel is running over time. The next thing you're looking at is footpath. It's on time, looks like it's finished on time. The driveways, looks like it started on time. You don't know if it's finished or not. Oftentimes you'll have a little percentage written here saying 100% complete or 50% complete. This Gantt chart's a little bit oversimplified. And then you've got the rest of the time there. From this you can also see that what's going to happen now is that assuming this thing is complete, but it's complete a week late, this part here, the road markings, is going to start at this time and finish here. Now it's not a problem because there's a week float, but if this was going to last for another week, then this one would have to start and we're going to finish the project a week late. So from this you can actually look at this and say, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Not a problem if we've finished it now, but if it lasts for another week, then I'm going to be running, then this becomes the critical activity and I'm going to run a week late. So you're comparing the actual progress in the blue to what you planned on the baseline schedule. Here's a real one that we produce in Microsoft project. You can see that the progress is marked as 100%. So the one at the bottom there, the grey, is the baseline schedule. The way you remember is grey is like stone color and the baseline schedule is cast in stone. So the blue and the red are the actual progress. So you can see that the garage was finished early. The greenhouse was started earlier than anticipated, so that was looking good. The foundation started on time. The walls are running late. This red means it's critical. So the critical activity from here on in is that roof, getting that roof done, and the reason for that is because this walls, the predecessor, ran late. So now you can see that we're running a bit late. And you can see it's 60% complete, so that's why that red is that color, and we anticipate that it's going to be another so many days to do this. This is all skewed up because there's weekends here and it doesn't, you don't work on weekends, but it doesn't allow for that. So we're 60% complete here, and then we haven't even started these ones, so that's why they're 0%. Microsoft Project also predicts what's going to happen in the future. So what this tells us is because this ran a week late, then we're going to start this one later than what we anticipated, and we're going to start this one later than what anticipated, and we're going to finish late. So it's a very powerful way of estimating what's happening. So let's just summarize how we do the schedule control process. The first step is that we set the baseline schedule. So there's the baseline schedule. Then we mark the actual progress on the schedule. Then we compare the actual progress to the planned progress, and we can see, yes, that one there is running a week late. That's not very good. And then we identify what's happened. So why did this happen? There's several reasons it could have happened. It could have been that the curb and channel takes 2 weeks to do and the person doing the program got it wrong. Or it could be that the workers were really slow on the curb and channel, or the foreman wasn't very good and they took more time than what they should have. Or it could have been that the client has gone and added more curb and channel, or the client has asked for a different type of curb and channel. Scope changes. Or just bad luck, it rained. It just rained that whole week there and we couldn't do the curb and channel work. So there are lots of reasons for it, not necessarily just because of the workers, there's other reasons. And the job of the project manager is to identify what those reasons are and then determine whether any actions can be taken. Sometimes all you can do is say, well, it rained, that's just tough luck, nothing much we can do about that, maybe we could have planned it a bit better. Or you could say, or in the future I'll allow 2 weeks to do the curb and channel. So the action there might be, it's a lesson learnt, you make sure that you don't make the same mistake again. Or you decide to take some action. It might be that you add more resources, more people, or different resources. It might be that you've been trying to dig the hole or whatever it is by hand and you need a digger. Or it might be that the digger you're using is too small and you need a bigger one. Or it might be the digger you're using is too big and it can't get into those spaces and you need a smaller one. Or it might be that the manager's just not up to it and you need to replace him. So by the manager I'm talking about the foreman that's doing the job. And then you record your lessons learnt. It's very important. You make a mistake, you're always going to make mistakes when you're doing construction. If you make the mistake a second time, then that's a problem. You shouldn't be repeating mistakes. So you should be recording your mistakes, your lessons learned. How am I going to do it better in the future? Because that's the way a company and an engineer becomes better and better as they go. That concludes these slide casts. Next week we're looking at tendering.